every Sunday
for 60 minutes.
We
are
free.
Sharing passion.
Pushing
We
the
are
limits.
pushing the limits.
This is the New World Sim Racing GT3 Sprint Series.
From the twists and turns of mighty Mount Panorama to the cold green pastures of Donington Park, from the sizzling heat of Valencia to the famous Brickyard at Indianapolis, reaching an unforgettable climax at the notorious green hell of the Nürburgring Nordschleife, it's time for Season 3 of the 2024 New World Sim Racing GT3 Sprint Series. Join us live on Twitch, Sundays at 8 PM Eastern. Drivers, start your engines. Hello, and welcome to round 6 of the New World Sim Racing GT3 Sprint Series. I'm Milo the First, and we are at Snetterton, another track close to my heart in the good old motherland. And yeah, it's moist. It is moist here, so I don't know how I'm going to link moist to my co-commentators, but I'm going to do it anyway. Speaking of moist, here is Chris Turner and Phil Weltcakes Milwee. What's up, guys?
I am constantly moist.
Like dripping.
When you get to our age, you're just always a little bit moist all the time.
It's true.
Dripping.
Yeah.
Yes,
dripping with awesomeness.
So, Milo, while you were away, Welp and I were discussing our preferred term for the area between your butthole and your ball sack.
Oh wow, we're going straight in tonight. We're not even.
It's relevant because of the shape of the track.
Yeah.
I like the Devil's Driveway.
Oh my god. Okay.
So we have the taint, we have the gooch, the fleshy fun bridge. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
The reason why this all came up is because I'm really questioning whether or not Martin Brundle has reached the level of professional, like retired racer status to have a corner named after him.
Yeah, so I said we would just call it the Grundle.
Like the Brundle bypass or something?
Yeah. Like he might get Brundle Way, and Brundle Way happens to be in like an outdoor shopping mall.
That sounds like the street where my grandparents live. You know?
So it looks like Paul's just like, we'll just call it the Brundle from now on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love how we did this professional intro. It will ignore the screenshot before where I accidentally dragged race control onto the main feed and some other bits and pieces that weren't working quite as they should. But we're like super professional, straight in to a discussion on the gooch.
Well, we're going to talk about the Brundle and the bumhole and all sorts of stuff today.
You want
we're
to
on
talk
a track
about
that is shaped like,
I think it looks like a keyhole, personally, but
I mean, We all see what we want to see, right?
Exactly.
I actually think it looks kind of like maybe like one of my marching band photos. Like you can see, like my knuckles are basically dragging the ground because I'm basically giving up on life.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you're looking up at the sky, asking God why.
Yep, and of course it does look like I have like 14 and a half feet. I don't, but
Yeah.
you know, artist interpretation.
Speaking of the track, we do have a track map this week because it's not Valencia or Indianapolis. So yeah, here is the Snetterton track map, and I'd like to refer the stream to turn 10. That's what started this whole discussion, I assume.
No, it was turn 8, but
Turn 8, yeah.
turn 10 has come up in those discussions as well.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Turn 10 is featuring in the announcement in Discord.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I quickly referred to that before. Why is that map not pixelated? Says Stronksy. I mean, should it be? Am I missing something? Oh, because the background is. Oh, some people are at work. I got it. Sorry, I wasn't with you. Now I am.
Oh well, if you were at work,
NWSR.
then, if you were at work, then you probably enjoyed the start of this race conversation.
NWSR stands for Not Work Safe Racing.
Yes, that's right.
So, I mean, you clicked on it.
We will get a onboard lap, obviously, with your good self later, because I think it's a popular feature where it's demanded now by the millions that reach out to me weekly.
Millions.
Yeah, my email inbox has never been so full, and
the followers are constantly hitting him up.
all the time. You don't even understand. So we will go through it, but yeah, turn 1 riches, and some of these corner names may be updated. We'll find out later. After the center straight, the home straight is called the center straight, so I like that. Into turn 1 riches. We got the hairpin turn 2, which is Montreal. 3 is a left-hander called Palmer, not Jolyn Palmer, in case anyone's wondering. Into turn 4, Agostini. 5 is another left-hander, Hamilton. 6 is Oggies, love it. 7, Williams, along the Bentley straight into Brundle corner, turn 8. Turn 9 is Nelson. 10 is Bomb Hole. Just want to let that marinate for a second. Bomb Hole. Okay. Turn 11, that long sweeping right-hander at Coram. Into Murray's, a kind of iconic, really British left-hander, and that is Snetterton.
So you guys have both of you have raced Snetterton like far
Yes.
more than I have. People complain about this track being difficult to pass.
It
What are your
is,
thoughts?
I mean, you have to be good on the brakes. There are a couple of hairpins. There is not a heavy braking zone at the end of the long straight, but you really have to be confident in your control of the car to get something done, because you're gonna have to be brave.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about you?
I quite like Snetterton. I gotta say, I'm used to, all the old games that would have it in. It would always be kind of like slower cars that you'd be racing here, like GT3s, maybe smaller cars,
BTCC, that kind of stuff.
The M2s are wonderful here.
Yeah, the M2s are really good here. I feel like the track is built for those more than these, but I don't dislike it. I think New World has often had good races here in the times we've done it. The problem is ACC, the community of ACC looks down upon Snetterton like it's something they stood in. That's the feeling I get when I'm browsing the web.
Yeah, it is not. Well, you're never gonna find a pub lobby running Snetterton.
Never, ever. And even, we got 23 heroes really that have shown up to drive so far in the pouring rain at a track that everybody hates. Good on you, because you'll be surprised. It's going to be a good race.
It's also free points.
Free points, yeah, exactly.
And like, if we look at qualifying, I know we haven't talked about it yet, but Carter Bezbrodka is, I believe, running Gold Driver pace right now. He is absolutely flying.
He is in that Honda. I mean, he's part of Rados's Honda cult. We've discussed this, and obviously we know how quick Rados is. So if they've been practicing together, it stands to reason that Carter would have good pace. He had good pace last week as well, but it all went wrong on lap 1 for him, I believe. So Carter will be looking for a redemption run today. He's leading the silver quali right now with a 56.2, 8/10 quicker than Nick Cahoot.
Joey was P2, and then Nick just pipped him on this lap.
Yes, Joey out there still in his Honda as well. Another one of those maniacs. And both. I mean, Nick Cahoot, I think. Chris, am I surprising you by asking if you have the standings that we can look at?
Well, I mean, I wasn't looking at them, but I can find them.
If you'd be so kind, next week I'll endeavor to bring that up before we go live.
Just remind me next time.
I'm springing that on him, guys. Luis in chat says, Milo, can you say bomb hole? Yes, bomb hole.
Also, Barrett had a request of you earlier.
Did he? Milo, can you in your best French accent tell Joby to keep things on the paved portion of the road? We're driving through Quebec right now. If I do a French accent, I fear we will get cancelled. I don't think I should.
Yeah.
All right, so I pulled up the standings.
There you
go. Currently in silver, Nick Cahoot, P1, 166 points. Ryan Cody, not far behind with 153 in P2. Kyle Heslin, so 2 GTRs on the podium for the silver season so far. Kyle with 148 points. Muff and Joey, 132, 131. So, I mean, the top 5. The season is not over. We still have 3 more rounds after this. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so 3 more rounds. It's anybody's season. I mean, once you get down to like 9th or 10th or something like that, the guys that have missed a couple races, it's going to be a bit harder to climb up the standings, especially if you're not showing up to a race like Snetterton where it's free points.
Indeed, yeah, and one of the silver drivers on the left had a absolute belter of a race at Valencia was Eamon. He's just put in a 58.6, so he's gone 5th fastest for now. He was flying at Valencia last week. Was it Valencia last week? No, it was Paul Ricard.
Paul Ricard.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he was our biggest mover last week. I think 14 positions gained, finished 8th overall. Just absolutely had the Ferrari dialed in, taking corners like, full speed through the high-speed right-hander. Just absolutely put on a show.
Indeed. So the gold drivers are taken to the track. Crowd favorite Bruno Castelldini out there in the lone Bentley on the grid. And be looking to... I mean, he should be right at home in that boat, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Set sail. Point westward.
Toot toot. And we'll see how he does out there. He's been doing pretty well, I think, overall across the season. If you want to bring up the gold standings.
I have the gold standings already up.
Look at you. All right, let me do a side-by-side for that one again. There's your gold standings.
Yeah, Rado's currently sitting 1st overall. No surprise there. Out of the 4 races that he has showed up for, he has won 3 of them. So, 184 points. Gabriel Daher, currently P2 with 162. And then we've got about a 33-point jump down to Mike Jackson, who is the bottom step of the podium currently. Carl Big with 118, Chris Moses with 112, Eduardo Galbinski, who unfortunately is going to miss the rest of the season, and then Bruno Castelldini with 102. Those guys can make some moves today. I don't know, is Mike here today?
It doesn't look like it. Looks like we're missing Mike tonight. We have 24 now, so we've gained a driver since last count, which is lovely. I love to see it.
So if Carl and Chris Moses and Bruno, if all those guys are here, like any one of them can jump Mike Jackson onto the podium, because it's free points.
Yeah, it is indeed. I've got to give a shout out. So as you can see, the side-by-side is working. I've got to give a shout out to New World Sim Racing's very own tech wizard, Faris Saidi. Not racing tonight by the looks of it. He did just get back from a trip, so that could be why. But a massive shout out to Faris, a smart boy, and a very nice chap.
He has saved us.
He has, yeah. So we have replay functionality back. We have side by side. We can do turn 1 cam. We can do all kinds of tips and tricks, and yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good.
I can once again deliver the subpar quality
that you will come to expect.
Yeah, come to be known for.
Yeah.
The elevated subpar quality, because it's like we were like 3 or 4 steps below what was already what everyone thought the bottom was.
Yeah, exactly.
Just letting everyone know there is no bottom. But
So
anyway.
started at the bottom, now we're here, which is slightly above where we started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, these videos are getting a solid 4 or 5 views on YouTube.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
I painstakingly make thumbnails for the videos so that like my mom can watch them.
Nice.
For those that don't know, this is like the premier racing event to watch on YouTube, and the 4 or 5 of you that do it never disappointed.
Exactly.
Yeah. You would not believe the amount of ad revenue we are raking in over on YouTube. I think we've almost made like a nickel over like 15 seasons.
Yeah,
So we're right there.
Speaking of nickels, I see somebody with 2 5s in their time, and that's Andrew Roudhouse with a 155.330 in the wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rados cooking, and it's 3 Hondas, and they're all part of the cult. No surprise that it's 3 Hondas leading the way right now.
That's mom, dad, and their little boy.
Yep.
Rados, Greg, and Carter.
That's it.
It's an all-Canadian podium right now.
Yeah, it's looking good for Honda so far here. We still have about 5 minutes left in quali, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. You've got Carl is the closest to the Hondas currently in the Audi. I'm not sure how much fun the Audi is in the wet. My guess would be not very.
He's like 5 thousandths of a second off of Greg's time.
Yeah, I mean, Carl is not a massive fan of the wet anyway. Combine that with the Audi, and yeah, we'll hope for the best for him today.
I expect to see Chris Moses jump. He doesn't have a time in yet, but he was up towards the sharp end of the stick in practice. So if he can get some clear air and get a time in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it.
Go for it.
Chris Moses is going to be kind of like my pick for a big mover and shaker. I love the Aston Martin in mixed conditions. Well, not mixed conditions, but in wet conditions. I think it's a fabulous car in the wet. And Chris Moses, really good driver. I think kind of underrated for this league, kind of rated well on SimGrid, but by and large, his results right now don't really reflect what I think he's got in terms of talent. So I'm interested to see what he can do around a wet Snetterton.
Yeah, I linked his Twitch channel in the. You want to go over there and give him a follow? Good dude, really fast. I watched him do some LFM races the other day in some GT4s. So hit him up, tell him we said hello.
Yeah, and that Aston Martin should be right at home here at Snetterton, you would think, but we'll see how he gets on. He has gone P6 with his latest effort. It's 56.7.
Oh man, look at Lukey in the Porsche P5.
Yeah, Lukey with a 56.6. So was worried about his lap times being in the gold split. Have no fear. Your P5 at Snetterton right now.
That's another car that I expect to do quite well in mixed conditions. But yeah, I'm kind of curious what you guys think right now. It looks like the Ferraris
Struggling.
might be struggling a little bit. We got Daher up in 7th, but the next highest Ferrari, like there are no other pro Ferraris in the top 10.
Yeah,
The only other pro Ferrari is Joseph German, and he has a quali ban this week.
he has a quality
Yeah.
event. Here he is in the pits. Sad noises. We'll look down on his red Ferrari there.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that. Yeah, Rados leading the timings right now. Not a massive surprise. He's been stellar, as you say, in the races that he's been at this season. Daher, yeah, Ferrari struggling a little bit, maybe, because we know he's been really, really quick. He's actually been battling for podiums in gold almost weekly, I think.
Yeah, he fought with Carl.
Yeah, really good
for
battle.
most of Paul Ricard last week.
Yeah, very good
Yep.
battle between those two. And of the multi-tap boys, without Kabinski here, Daher definitely flying the flag for them at the top of the gold standings.
I mean, Bruno's
Yeah,
two
Bruno
cars behind him.
Yeah, Bruno not far behind whatsoever. That Bentley, the 57 flat, so quite a few drivers around the 57 flat mark, and then 8 into the 57 into the 56s, I should say. But yeah, Carter, P2 right now. Is he in the wrong split? Question mark.
I don't know if he's in the wrong split or if it's just the Honda's good in the rain, or maybe the Honda is good here. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I mean, it's a
downplay
British
his skill.
GT. It's a British GT track. It's one of those. I mean, all the British GT tracks and the Intercontinental GT tracks have kind of like a weird affinity for some cars, like the Honda.
Yeah, for sure. We have 5 drivers that have opted out of qualifying here. So going for the 4 opted out and 1 ban. So yeah, we'll see how they get on, including Heslin in the GTR. We saw.
I think he might also have a quality ban.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
is
as
about
informed
to-
as I should be.
Rados about to punch in with a 54.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Good exit. He's gonna gain almost 3/10 here. We're gonna have a 54.9 on the board.
So with that, like, we've got raw pace from Rados, for sure. We've actually got really good pace I'd say probably in the top 5, for sure. Maybe top 6. What about consistency, though? What are we going to see from consistency in these conditions, you guys think?
I mean, from Rados or from the field?
Just the field in general, but I really feel like can the front runners, like, having great pace in quali is one thing.
Mhm.
Trying to maintain consistency over a 1 hour sprint race in these conditions is also something different.
So
Well, go on, Chris.
what I envision happening is the top 3 are all Honda Colt. They're not gonna fight each other at the start. They're just gonna try to make space between them and P4 and run away. And then Carl, Lukey, and Chris Moses are gonna fight each other and let it happen.
Yeah.
Unless the Hondas kill each other or die on their own, which, you know, Hondas are prone to do. I don't know that anybody can chase them down. Rados especially. Like, I think he's just gonna, like we saw it at Valencia, guy just disappeared in the sunset.
Indeed. In these conditions, I think the only difference there is it's just that if you zone out, you know, because you're just sort of cruising at the front, you could easily make a mistake in this car, as he shows us its ability to spin on the grass. Right there, that one's for the cameras.
Try not to snipe him, but Daher up
I know.
almost 8/10.
I saw that. He's lost a couple of tenths
Has been ladder.
on the entry to the long sweeping right hand. Never.
That's a big convert.
This one
That
just
could
feels
pop
like it
him up
never
to
ends.
P4.
Yeah.
Oh, he's lost about half of it.
Yeah, he has lost half
I
it.
was,
He
I
needs
was
a really
hoping
good.
he could get right in the middle of the Honda boys.
He's a good Murray's. He does get a decent Murray's, but still, unfortunately, lost a little bit more. It's going to bump
Probably
him
P4.
up to P5.
Ooh, P5.
Yeah, so
He just missed out just by a 10th.
just missed out indeed.
But the time is, excuse me, the time is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, that could get him into the 55, so that would put him back in the mix.
54.9 on a wet.
24
Snetterton.
drivers on the grid. We will do a grid walk momentarily once the server ticks over.
So in this level of wet, Milo, would you call this like I've heard the saying that
Monday.
it's like
I just call this Monday.
a typical British day.
Tuesday.
Is this an exceptional British day from
That-
the level of wet?
To be honest, for me, my memories growing up, the rain is a lot more driving. We get a lot of driving rain because of the wind. I feel like this is too, the rain's kind of coming straight down. This is more like what we get here in Vancouver. Like, there should be, an awful biting chill and driving rain for
Yeah, I
realism.
didn't even think about that with the conditions the way that they are right now. So they're probably running. So they're gonna be running wets for the race.
Oh yeah.
I could imagine that we're not gonna see anybody change tires, right?
Alright, there's some rain in this session.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I would
watch out
be
for slippery curbs and
surprised.
brake earlier.
I'd be surprised. All right, Chris, are you ready?
Yep. Yeah, I'm ready.
We'll go full screen for the grid walk. So pole position is Andrew Rados in the Honda, joined by two of his Honda bros, Carter Bezbaroka and Greg Billingsley. In P4 on row 2 is Moses in the Aston Martin, with Daha at 5 in the Ferrari, Carl Big in the Audi at 6, with Dylan Beveridge, the highest Mustang on the grid, in 7, with Michael Lukey in 8 in the Porsche, and Robertson also in the Mustang there at 9. Bruno Castaldini of Multitap Racing at 10 in the Bentley. Nick Cahoot in the Aston at 11. Melitti in the Honda at 12, with Ryan Cody in the Nissan GTR at 13. Eamon in the Ferrari at 14. Melanson and Guzman C in Astons at 15 and 16. Similarly in the Honda at 17. Miller in the Beamer at 18. Arlen Santos in the Aston at 19. Joseph German, who has a quali ban in the Ferrari, at 20. Landon Wall with the quali ban in the Honda at 21. Carl Haslin with a quali ban in the Nissan at 22. And Bruce Hopkins in the McLaren at 23. And Moffat joins us late into the lobby in the Mustang. We love to see it, at 24. And that is your grid for Snetterton. Lovely jubbly.
Right there, 24 heroes.
A stray dog kept me from qualifying, says Muff. At least you're here, buddy. We love to see it.
Yep.
We love to see it.
Not all heroes wear capes, Muff.
That's right.
Speaking of dogs, if you're not in the Discord, you're not getting to enjoy the pets, channel. Lukey posted some pictures today of his dog that he rescued not too long ago, and it is fucking adorable.
Nice.
So you
I
need
will
to be in the
check that out.
Discord.
I will definitely
a,
check that out.
A beautiful dog that has dealt with some issues that he rescued and is training it up, and she's a cutie. I live vicariously through all the people with the pets channel because I don't have pets.
I need to start posting in the pets channel.
Dude,
Heck yeah, you do, bro.
I'm just going to spam your inbox with pictures of Bailey.
3 cats and a
I've
dog.
got like 1 million of them.
Yeah, dude, post them in it's the best channel in the entire Discord.
Yeah.
I said dog, and Rossi has walked up, my black lab, and he's just like looking at me like, "Hey, Dad, I heard you talking about me."
We're going to, Chris, let me know when you got turn 1 cam.
Man, I am already ready.
He's already ready. Look at that.
We got replay
There it
cam
is.
back, and I am
Side
Almost
by
a-
side in beautiful high definition.
I am pulling a Snetterton right now. I'm so excited.
It is misty and rainy from the helicopter cam as the drivers do their formation lap,
Muff's a little bit behind.
led by Rados. That's all right. I think he'll catch him up.
I mean, you can do like your full cam until we get closer to the end and then switch to.
No, I like it because we're seeing them drive on the circuit in the background as they make their way around.
It's a small enough track where you can kind of see that, and I think that's
yeah.
cool.
I like it,
We can all watch Muff try to catch up to the pack.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're not singling Muff out. It's just that's just where he happens to be.
Said he was dealing with a stray dog, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
There you go.
As they double up quite early here, as they get ready to go through the bomb hole. It's just this never end. This right hand part of the track just feels like it never ends. You know.
Yeah, you're just kind of coasting around it, waiting and waiting and waiting before you inevitably have to brake for. Is it Murray corner? Is that the final corner?
Yep.
Murray's, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the Nelson to bomb hole to Corum transition because it's all variable radius corners, right? Like it's just Nelson's very tight, bomb hole's a little bit more open, and then Corum's this like sweeping right-hander, and then you've immediately on the brakes for the left-hander at Murray's.
The
We
field.
have a wild Vulcan in the chat.
I see that, a legend of sim racing, Vulcan, in the chat, guys. As we approach the start-finish line, Rados and Carter flying high today. And round 6 is underway from Snetterton. And we'll see Rados and Carter Bezbrodka both in the Honda hit turn 1. No fight from Carter there as Rados takes
Top 4
the
single
inside.
file. Got a little side by side towards the back with Carlos and German.
Waiting to see if what the entry into Montreal looks like.
Lots of
Constant.
back and forth. We had Luki and Castaldini, a little door bang, nothing serious as they race out of the exit of that hairpin.
Yeah, we've got Joey Melidi and Nick Kohout side by side. Nick's going to go around the outside here. That is the fight for silver lead in lap 1.
Carl Big caught out a little bit. I believe that is going to allow one of the Fords. Is that
Yeah, that's Dylan Beveridge.
Dylan Beveridge is going to benefit off that.
As yeah, though, I'm curious as to how the Mustang is in the wet. I did see, actually, if anyone was watching the channel before we went live, I had the focus on Dylan for a while, and he was putting that Stang through some beautiful drifts out there. It was quite nice.
It does look like a bit of a handful. I mean, I've driven the Mustang in the wet, obviously in iRacing, but it is a big front engine rear-wheel drive car, and the rear end does not like to stay underneath it.
Down in P20, we've got Heslin having a look at Rick Simmerly. In the GTR, looking to make up from a quali ban, so Heslin having to make his way through the field.
Yep, and you know, the thing about quali bans is you have to start at the back and you have to work your way through, and you have to be super careful about it because
You don't want
know,
another one.
Yeah, you don't want to, hit anybody as you're trying to get through people that you would normally start in front of.
Speaking of hits, I flicked to Eamon and Cody, who were very close together, and Eamon clips Ryan Cody's GTR, and that is the first murder of the day. We'll, just late on the brake. I mean, it's going to be so slippery out there. The braking, especially when you're behind someone, it's hard to judge, let's face it.
Oh my gosh, Rick Simley with a huge drift through turn 1. Kyle Hessen's having a look, but nothing doing.
So what gets you a quali ban, Stonksy? Basically, we don't do live stewarding, so we do a penalty review. As we see, unfortunately, that was Rick drive. He kind of drove across the front of
that was
Heslin there. I think it was
a bit of
Heslin
a-
or Santos, maybe.
Bit of a
Santos.
rejoin when there wasn't space.
Yeah, I just think he drove across the front there, and Santos was there in that Aston. So, as I was saying, Stonksy, we have a penalty review team. We review everything on a midweek evening of choice, and we hand out penalties and warnings and such for educational purposes, points, deductions, that kind of thing. And then if you rack up enough points, you get a quali ban. Chris, what's the threshold? 30 points or something? I think? 60?
30 or 40, I cannot remember.
Yeah.
And we have, all the penalties have a different weight to them, and there are different severities of different penalties. So, like a contact, you might get 3 points or 5 points depending on like how bad it was.
Yeah, those penalties can be protested if you really feel it, and then we typically will have a independent panel look at the protests.
Yeah, we have a separate group of people that does reviews. You are not allowed to weigh in on incidents involving your car to keep from like voting for yourself or whatever. We try to make it as fair as possible.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean it's all volunteers.
Which might I add, as somebody who's been doing the ACC game for a while now, and has done like league racing commentary for a while, you guys are the only community that I know of that for weekly league races do after race review.
So
of
the Honda boys fighting each other. Greg just sent it on Carter.
Yeah, I just put that on because I noticed the gap had come down, and Greg, it doesn't look in control by Greg. I got to be honest right now, as this Honda is all over the place. Carter's going to get a chance to attack back, but I think Greg will keep the inside.
Yeah, I mean, if these two start fighting, that's going to allow Chris and Daher and Dylan to catch up.
It is, yeah. Greg's made it stick now, but man, that looked dicey. So the Honda looks fine as long as you keep. I guess this is true of the Honda on any track. As long as you keep the wheels on the grey stuff, and especially in the wet, you don't want to be on these curbs too much anyway.
Yeah, the curbs are slippery. The green stuff on the outside is even even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Strong C. So we have a program that it registers every contact, and we have a sheet set up so it puts it all on the sheet with timestamps and everything, and then we go back through and we look at every incident, and then we talk about it, and then we come to an agreement on it. Sometimes it comes down to a vote.
Yep.
And then that sheet is sent out to everybody so they can go look at it and review it. And if you feel like, hey, that incident wasn't my fault, I feel like you guys got this wrong, you can protest it. We have some other people look at it, and then we go from there.
Yeah, it seems complicated, but it isn't, and it's worked very well, I think, for our community as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have how many seasons doing it?
A lot, like 15 or something. Yeah.
Oh, we got Chris Moses moving up the board in turn 1. He's gonna get past Carter.
He is, yes.
Carter is halfway in the grass.
Yeah, so Carter obviously.
Daher's gonna send
attack
it.
from Daher, the fray. There's a little contact, but they both survive.
Yeah, here comes Dylan Beveridge. He's looking to get on this as well. He's gonna
is,
rear
yeah.
end. Daher, I think, slowed down for Carter because of the contact.
And Dylan's Mustang is drifting. What a beautiful drift. That's exactly what he was doing in the warm-up, by the way.
Yeah, I think Carl rear-ended Dylan, who rear-ended Daher, because they didn't expect Daher to slow down so much. And Lukey's going to come in hot and rear-end Carl.
Was that contact? I didn't catch it.
Yeah, there was contact between Lukey and Carl.
Yeah, it's hard to know where to look amongst these 10 drivers right now because they are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. It was all splitting up, and now they've all sort of squeezed back together. So,
Out of all of this calamity, Rados now has a 6.5-second lead that's climbing, and Moses though keeping Billingsley within 2 seconds right now.
Yeah, Moses moving up, and he was your one to watch today. Here he is in the orange Aston Martin, and
they cleared Carter, and now it's off to the races. I think Daher will continue to attack Carter. I think he tried to send it on the hairpin and made contact, and then tried to slow down to make sure that Carter retained the position, which is good sportsmanship. And I think he slowed down a bit too much and caught a couple guys behind him off guard. And that's why we had a couple of contacts there.
Yeah, as we see, look at this gaggle of cars right now. This is like P6 down to P11. Lots and lots of drivers have switched to Helicam to try and capture a few more on screen if we can, but it's Bruno Castaldini chasing Lukey. He's chasing Carl Big, and Carl Big is hot on the heels of that Mustang. Dylan Beveridge managed to get past him a little while ago. So Daher's opened up a gap in front of Dylan now of his 2.5. So yeah, Daher did find the pace as Quali went through. So
yeah, I watched Dylan for about half a lap, and he's touching a lot of curbs, and I think that's what's allowing Carl to stick with him. That and these guys might have a little bit of front and rear aero damage from the couple of contacts we had.
Lukey ran a bit wide in that Porsche, managed to hang on to it. Lukey's generally been very good in the wet. Won a race at Indianapolis, the famed New World Sim Racing flooded race.
Yeah,
where
he won that as a silver driver as well.
Yeah, the gold drivers, the conditions and quality got worse and worse and worse, and they ended up starting behind the silvers and just couldn't recover because it was a flooded track. And it was, Lukey just concentrated and just drove around and didn't have to fight too hard, just keep it on the track. But there were a lot of people not keeping it on the track, so I'm not trying to make it sound easy, because it certainly wasn't.
Yeah, so I got a message before the race from one of the Honda drivers that said, if you see me pit on lap 1, don't be surprised. It's all part of the plan.
Okay.
And if you notice, Joey Meliti has cleared his pit stop already.
As has Ryan Cody and Landon Wall, yeah. But Joey specifically, this is part of the game plan.
Yeah, there was a possibility that Carter and Joey were going to pit lap 1, and Joey did it, but I think Carter was fighting with Greg and did not. So
yeah, this is Stonksy.
We'll see how this all plays out.
Just responding to Stonksy in the chat there. So the league you drive in is a little different. I mean, we started our penalty review process to educate as well as sort of police, yeah, I think, as we said, it works pretty well, I think.
Oh, Dylan Beveridge is drifting.
It's just for the cameras, I swear.
He's driving with style this week.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Carl Big. All over the back of him, though. Each one of those drifts.
Under the curb.
It's going to cost
Dylan, get off the curb.
Yeah, and then Lukey's like, all right, I'll get involved in this. That Porsche looks decent.
Real quick, if I could jump in here, guys, want to talk about big winners and losers.
Let's do
it.
Right?
Kyle Hesslin is up 9 spots.
Yep.
In P13, Joseph German's up 8. Justin Moffitt's up 8 spots, and Bruce Hopkin, another one that started in the back with Justin Moffitt, is up 6. We've got the early pitters, Joey Meliti and Ryan Cody, down 10 and 9 spots respectively. So that's not really a surprise or anything like that. But that's where we're at right now. I really wouldn't call them losers. They're taking the mega undercut. So
yeah,
that's what we're looking at for positions gained.
They definitely are. And Haslin will be, I mean, Haslin's got pace. We've seen that every week. So he'll be eager to make up as much as he can, because he's been in the silver podium battle pretty much weekly, I think.
Yeah, he's got the GTR pretty well figured out. We got Robeson, Nick Cohout, and Joseph German about to go at it.
Yeah, they are front and center right now.
Mark was also drifting his Mustang. As you can see, as he exits turn 1, that car fishtailing quite a bit.
Yeah, no kidding. It definitely looks like a handful.
So looking at the times inside the top 10 right now, like you got Carl Big and Daher are relatively close to the cars they're chasing. Looks like Carter is able to hold off Daher quite well. I'm just kind of curious if, as this continues to go and as Daher continues to mount the pressure on Carter, are we going to start to see a little bit of maybe a little bit of a crack in the strategy of Carter to try and hold Daher behind?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Carter he has such a, I mean, it's not a massive amount of time at the moment, but he does have a lot of cars between him and the closest silver driver. So for him to win silver really is just concentrate. He doesn't need to fight too hard. So if Daher puts him under pressure, I mean, if I'm Carter, I'm probably letting him by.
Just rejoining from another county.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dylan lost a bunch of spots. All the hard work he's done at the start of the race has
fellas, easy.
very close to Heslin's GTR there.
Yeah, I think Dylan lifted for German, and then Kyle
Oh, we got a
might
yellow
have made
flag.
contact.
Car 19, and I
That is Rick Simile.
think that's an F4.
Yeah, I would believe so.
Yeah, Heslin and Dylan. So Dylan's rejoined right with German and Heslin. It was a little dicey for a moment, and now they're going to have to race. So into turn 1.
So we have a driver on board request.
Ooh.
So if you want to do a side-by-side, I've got your driver on board with Mr. Kyle Heslin.
Hell yeah. Here it is. We got all the tech this week, guys. We are back thanks to Faris, as I said at the start of the stream.
Man, that windshield wiper is struggling to clean that off.
Looks like they're getting ready to go into Augustini here. They've got this kind of hairpin left-hander. They're going to navigate. The spray is just going to be unbearable, especially through the slow speed section because cars are going to be so close together.
Yeah. Yeah, it has...
Go ahead.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I was going to say, here into Augie's, I've been seeing cars, and that right there, what we just saw from Dylan, Augie's seems to be catching people out. Seeing a lot of cars break super deep into that corner. I'm not sure if that's where the wet line is kind of just like naturally taking you, and that's where the most grip is out there. But I've been seeing it kind of consistently. And now getting ready to go into Brundle. And then on the brakes, this is where Dylan shot off the track and went into a completely different county, as Chris mentioned earlier. And then through Bomb Hole here, they're getting set up for the long right-hander here at Coram, which I think in the wet is probably going to be one of the trickier corners because it's a really long right-hander, and it's not like you can even see Dylan's car just snaking around in the wet.
Yeah, he watched out. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Don't text and drive, kids.
It's the spray. It's the spray. It's so difficult to see right now. And he's focused on Dylan trying to find a way around him while not crashing into him because Dylan's car is spinning most of the time sideways.
Yeah,
that is
Mustang,
a lap. There you go.
That Mustang is holding on for dear life. Well, Dylan is. I mean, if I'm Heslin, I'm just thinking I'm just going to stay here and it's going to be over soon. I don't know. Dylan looks to be fighting that.
We're not giving Funk 2 laps for his redemption, so go back to your main camera.
No problem. No.
You got extra value there. You got like an extra 3 corners.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I'm going to need you to redeem like a It's Very Nice or something to pay for that.
So, looking at the times right now, the exception of Heslin behind Beveridge, who seems to be white-knuckling an hour at Snetterton, the field's starting to stretch out, which is pretty common for Snetterton even in the dry. It's a track that has, difficult to pass, high attrition rate, all that jazz.
Very nice.
And we're kind of seeing it now, kind of amplified. We're not even 20 minutes into this race.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, I think 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, like 10 people put in their best lap of the race last lap.
Yeah.
So you're starting to spread out. Everybody's getting a little bit of space, figuring out like how your car is going to handle for the next 45 minutes. But Lukey, no such time to rest.
Yeah, he's
Bruno all over the back of his car.
Yeah, he has Bruno front and center in his mirror. I think the Porsche got a better X out of Murray's there.
Yeah,
And
Bruno a little deep. Oh,
That's-
Kyle Heslin is going to drag race the Mustang
Here it is.
down the start finish. Oh, he's got to clear him before the corner.
Yeah, Heslin gets that move done, and
Dylan Beveridge fishtails out of turn 1 again.
yeah, that is crazy. Fun. I bet he's having fun. It's just how close to losing it is he? 1 lap early, says Funk. Never mind. You know, if Chris hadn't have said something, I probably would have just left it there for the rest of the stream.
Right?
Well, I mean, we haven't had the feature for a little while. As we see Miller left and went to check the perimeter, has rejoined the track. Eamon is right up behind Alan Santos. So Eamon in the Ferrari. P19 at the moment because he...
Oh, Kyle Heslin is off.
Oh, Heslin's off elsewhere.
Oh, he went deep.
He'll have to set up and do it all over again.
I'm riding on board with Dylan Beveridge, just watching his steering wheel and all the overcorrecting he's having to do. Like every corner that he exits, he is counter steering probably a good 70 to 90 degrees.
Yes. It is the 1 hours of opposite lock brought to you by Dylan Beveridge.
Eamon. Yeah, Eamon and Santos, this right now, the closest battle on track. Ferrari versus Aston.
Yeah, Eamon cleared Miller a couple laps ago.
Yeah, he got caught up. Obviously, Eamon did hit the back of Ryan Cody, so both of those guys went off early. So Eamon in a bit of a recovery mode.
Yep, showing him the nose to Santos. Oh, he's going to get up alongside here.
He should
the
have the
inside
move
of the
done.
next corner.
Providing he gets a safe enough exit, doesn't take any of that slippery curb, gets the move done. So pretty clean overtake there, and Eamon moves up to P18.
Well
Joseph
done.
German approaching Nick Cahoot and Mark Robertson. So Aston and Mustang ahead of German's Ferrari. So we'll see if he can make a move.
And Nick's gotta try and not let more of these gold drivers in between him and Carter right now, because Carter actually building a gap on Daher. So everything I was talking about before proves that I'm completely full of it. Don't know what I'm talking about because Carter seems to have it all figured out.
Yeah, Carter having a very good race. Look at his lap time. His last lap was a 54.8. That's only 0.6 slower than race leader Rados, who has a 12-second lead, by the way.
Yeah, Rados' best time, his best lap so far is a 53.5.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry. That was Rados' last lap was a 54.2. I'm sorry. So yeah.
So Rados might be like taking it easy and just trying to just tootle around. You got a big enough gap. You don't need to push super hard.
Just tootle around with the 53.8 that he's just done. That's just...
That's a non-push lap.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
One thing I will point out is we're getting close to that half point in the race, so I'm kind of interested to see when pit stops fire. But I think I'm expecting to see Rados come in probably in another lap or two because he's about to hit Landon Wall, who's one of the few drivers, one of that early pit crew. So interested to see if he's going to pull the trigger or not here in a minute.
Definitely. Just behind the Robertson, sort of Castaldini, Cahoot, German battle, you've got Dylan and Heslin, so Beveridge and Heslin. They're going to duke it out again shortly as Heslin closes the gap back to under a second. And I expect we're going to see them go at it again as Robertson trying to get something going here on Bruno Castaldini. It won't be easy, but these two have had quite a few battles over the season so far.
Yeah, Mark 0.3 faster last lap, but only a 10th faster for best laps of the race so far. So pretty evenly matched are the Bentley and the Mustang.
I wonder what setup. It could be just even a TC difference, but I'd love to know the differences between sort of Dylan's setup and Mark's, because Mark's looks a little grippier.
Tane?
Yeah. So when I set up the server, I always go in and test it and do a couple laps just to make sure it's the way I want it. And the default car for me is the Mustang. And I went on the default wet setup, and no lie, like through turn 1, it was just nothing but traction control, and my car wouldn't move until it was pointed in a straight line, and then it would go. At any corner, it was just constantly bogged down. So I don't know what setup Mark is running, but it is definitely not a default wet, or else his car would be practically sitting still.
Yeah, and I mean his exits just look a lot easier as we see Dylan going sideways in the background as if to make my point. So yeah, whatever setup Mark's running, I think is a little smoother, probably a little easier to handle.
Uh-oh. Carter has caught Chris Moses for P3.
Carter
did
flying.
54.7 last lap, so 1.2 seconds faster than the car ahead.
Yeah, that's crazy. Carter mixing it up with the gold podium drivers here.
Kyle Heslin has dived into the pit lane.
Yeah, so Heslin, instead of fighting, is gonna pit now, see what happens, and like Welp said, we're around that time.
223 Muff is off in the grass. I think that was just Mustang things. He's gonna pit now.
We got Carter here on Moses. That gap, as you pointed out, is now down to between 3/10 and half a second. Honda looks good here, really does.
Does. Proving yet again I don't know what I'm talking about.
See here, the Speed Trap has the Aston and the Mustang at a 242. The Honda at a 239. So nothing like super crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, a 54.7 last lap. Greg in P2 to 54.5. So he's lapping on pace with, you know, the other Hondas.
Yep. I got German right here. He's reeled Nick Cahoot once more. This has happened a couple of times, but
into the pit lane.
yeah, they both go
almost
in.
gives him a little kick.
They both drop into the pits together. Who will have the better start? All right, so are we not here? I don't think I'm hearing Chris and Welp right now.
No, I'm not talking.
Okay,
I'm not talking. I'm reading right now. I'm trying to take a look and see when I should go back to positions gained to kind of get some.
That was so freaky.
Saying
Was it eerie? Was it eerie?
In about 5-6 minutes or so, because the pit cycle is going to happen here in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll see where people cycle out. I'm just riding on board with Mark. His exit's a lot less counter steer than
I got
we saw from
Joey.
Dylan.
Joey behind Arlen Santos. There's Santos yet to pit. Joey taking what will be the outside line into turn 1. In the Honda, takes a lot of curb. Joey took an awful lot of curb there. He manages to hold it though, but an Aston behind Carlos.
By Guzman.
Yeah, Carlos capitalizes on that from Joey there as he took a big chunk of curb.
Going full Florida man into turn 1.
Yeah.
We also have Rados has now caught this battle. Carlos is going to bump the back of Santos's car. Joey's going to have the up. Carlos gets loose coming off the curb.
Land of War in the background.
This is
off.
kind of what I was thinking. Rados would pull the trigger before he got to this, but he elected not to. And
yeah,
I mean,
now he's in Baboon Central.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, he's quick. It's just also it's like it's easier for a driver to let you around in dry conditions. In the wet, it's much trickier to pull off.
Yeah, Joey just looking for a way to get past Santos here.
Yeah,
looking
Santos
to the left, looking to the right. He's going to get a good exit.
Gets it there, and Rados opts for the toe. Will Rados make a move here as well? We'll see. Joey gives Santos a wide burst, goes into the left-hander.
Rados super deep into the corner. I would imagine Rados will pit here.
Yeah.
If he doesn't
he's
pit,
losing so much time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm watching the gap to Greg just drop like a rock. He's down to 10 and a half. Down to 10 seconds now. Yeah, his lead is evaporating. He has to get out from behind these guys.
Yeah, he is. Oh, he's going to
Oh,
put
he's
so
gonna fit it right in
Santos.
front of him. Oh, and he slowed down so early.
Yeah.
Oh my
Hopkins
gosh.
is in as
Exactly.
well.
And if
Greg is
Billingsley
staying
has
out.
got any like clear air right now, he needs to make hay.
Oh, there's nothing in front of him. He's got at least a corner and a half clear.
Blaine, Rados is just flying this season. We're missing a couple. There's a certain prominent Honda driver conspicuous in his absence.
Danny is also
Danny's
been away.
Yeah, so it's yeah, Rados has the grid to himself, or that top step to himself at the moment.
Plus, also Danny was styling it on the field at Paul Ricard. If it wasn't for the stop go.
right.
Up
the
go,
stop
yeah. Yeah, he was huge lead.
Very true. Very, very true.
In the Mustang.
Is
So
Landon
Moses is pumping out best lap after best lap. He attempts to stay ahead of Carter.
Yeah, he's got that gap to a second now. I just was showing Landon Wall there. He's in P18, and yeah, he'd gone off when all that battle was happening. He'd gone off, but he's recovered and trying to catch Carlos Guzman now. Yeah, about half the
Rados-
field have boxed.
Rados is cycled out in P9. He's got, what is it, 2 seconds to Matt Mellinson? If he can clear Matt Mellinson, he might be able to undo some of the damage that we saw on his in lap for sure. But he's got to clear these drivers as quick as he can.
Yeah, I would imagine after that debacle, he will be possibly less patient in his attempts to get by lapped cars.
Potentially, Landon Wall and Carlos Guzman drag racing down the main straight. Looks to me like Landon Wall's going to get the move done on Carlos. So Landon, another Honda. Started from the back with the quali ban. Gets past Carlos there and up to P17. And then Joey is ahead of him up the road. Another fellow Honda to contend with if he can catch him. Lukey and Big into the pits.
Yeah,
Audi
Greg
and
is
Porsche.
also in there as well.
Yep, we see Greg right there in front of Lukey's Porsche. So the pit cycle well underway now. About 2/3 of the field have boxed.
Oh, Mellinson's going to dive into the pit in front of Rados, so Rados is now clean again.
Clean air for race leader
Yep.
Rados.
And there's Greg exiting the pit, so Rados will retain P1.
He will, and the gap will still be quite significant because Rados is going around turn 1, as you see. He's hitting the exit right now, and Billingsley.
Yeah, but it's only like 5 seconds currently.
Yeah, and it was like 15 or 17
Yeah,
or something.
he's lost, at least half of his lead.
Yeah. Nick Cahoot, currently P2. Let's see if Nick's just come around Murray's. Coming down the straight, Mellinson is still in the pit box. The Cahoot will go through and be P2 in silver behind Carter, who's yet to pit, but has a healthy lead on the rest of the silver field.
Oh, we have a change for the lead.
We do.
Carter has gotten by.
Yeah, Moses showing an invalid lap, so I wonder if he went off. I wonder if he went off somewhere there, allowed Carter to close that gap. Carter now boxes from the lead position. Moses will take provisional lead. That just leaves Daha and Robertson. Daha's into the pits right now. That just leaves Mark Robertson, who has not boxed yet. He heads on. Eamon also yet to pit. Speaking of Eamon,
Liddy.
yeah. Joey.
It's always
Large.
frustrating when you catch up to a car that has not pit, and then you have to fight them, knowing that they're going to have to pit out from in front of you. You're like, man, this is just costing me time.
Yep.
But Eamon is not required to get out of his way.
No,
It is
it's
still technically a battle for position.
it is
In
indeed. Yeah.
class.
Yeah, in class.
Yep, Joey will have to exercise a little patience. Goes to what will be the outside into Brundle. Eamon took a slightly defensive line, and they both make it through. We'll
I
see.
believe Eamon was a late pit last week as well.
I think so, yeah.
So I don't know how deep into the race he's going to try to go this week. Touching some curbs on the inside there.
Yeah, nice shot of these two cars. Well, Joey might get a better exit. I think he does.
Yeah.
Eamon took a lot of that exit curb. Seems
Oh,
quite
Eamon's gonna
slippery
dive
out
in
there.
as well.
Yeah, and he does dive in. Probably a smart move. Joey goes through. Haslin.
Ooh.
I rejoined Haslin right as he went lawn mowing.
We're doing a little rallycross here.
And he just caught up to Dylan again. So that battle is, I don't think it's over, guys. What do you think, Well?
No, I don't think. No shot.
I think we're going to get some GTR Mustang. Look at Dylan's Mustang. Sideways again.
Strong C as fixed time refueling. Yeah, so we require fuel. You don't have to take tires if you don't want to, but it is a minimum 25 seconds for fuel, regardless of whether you put 1 liter or however much it takes to get 25 seconds. So if you decide not to take tires, your pit stop only takes 25 seconds. If you decide to take tires, it's 30. It is completely up to you.
Yeah, we've seen some good battles result from that as well.
Yeah, if you feel like you've taken care of your tires for the race and you think you can go the rest of it, you can gain 5 seconds with somebody you've been fighting with.
We've got a yellow flag for Landon Wall. He's in the grass once more. So that is one Honda that's... I mean, he's probably trying to gain as many positions as he could because of where he started today.
It's just Honda's natural habitat.
Yep.
Mowing the grass.
Moses has come out the box behind Carter. So that could be a battle for P3 overall that we might get to see. Carl Big goes past Robertson, and that Audi went sideways.
Oh, they're still side by side. Mark's gonna try to hang it around the outside.
Yeah,
Not
Carl's,
gonna look for the over/under.
Carl's Audi got really loose on the initial move, I think. Saved it. For now, Carl has the lead over Robertson. Brian Cody in recovery mode. He's approaching Landon Wall now, who's rejoined the track. So we'll see if Ryan can make some move. Obviously, Ryan's in recovery mode after getting clipped early on in the race.
Yeah, that was lap 1, wasn't it?
It was
like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
somewhere in. It was early, but I'm not sure it
Yeah.
was lap 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and he pit right afterwards, so he has been on those tires for a good while now.
Yeah.
The going back to the positions gained, Joseph German up 10 spots.
Yeah, here he is as well, battling Lukey for that 11th spot.
And to get more.
The German started from the back, yeah, up 10 spots. So good stuff from German.
And he is good to the regs on pit. The lap 1 pit strategy might have cost Joey some spots. Who knows? Down 3 spots on the afternoon. Other big winners though, Kyle Heslin up 9 spots. Currently in that battle with Dylan Beveridge.
Yeah,
Yeah, talking about Joey's early pit, like that's just the gamble that he took. You know,
Yeah.
you pit early and get it out of the way, and then hope that you have clean air and that other people make mistakes in the rain. It may work out, and you may be the hero and the smartest person alive, or it doesn't go so well, and people are like, "What are you doing?"
By people, do you mean you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, just checking.
I will thoroughly berate him later if he loses positions because of it. I'm sure the Honda gang will also have words.
Yeah, so Lukey, with German and Kahoot looming in the mirror, has closed the gap on Bruno Casaldini. So a nice 4-car battle, 3-4 at the moment, at least, is brewing here. Nick Cahoot has a sizable lead over P3 Heslin. So yeah, speaking of Heslin being up 9 spots, you said, well, right?
Yep.
He's in a podium spot in silver right now, P3.
Yep.
So some really good stuff from him after starting at the back.
So, remember how Mark was stuck behind Bruno for the longest time? Looking at the time stopped, Gabriel Daher, Mark Robeson, and Carlos Guzman, shortest pit stops at 47 seconds. Everybody else, 50 and above. So, Mark gained a couple seconds just on the pits there.
And I'm gonna bet that a majority of the field did not take tires, so that's going to be purely down to understanding the grip level enough on pit entry and not stopping probably yards either before the control line or yards before your box.
Yeah, there's 5 or 6 people that it looks like did take tires because their time stopped is above 30 seconds, where everybody else is 27, 28, 29. So,
Does that counter start the moment that service starts, or the moment that you are stopped and getting oriented in the box?
I think as soon as your car stops and the game attempts to pit you, so it could be like, oh, Bruno getting loose in turn 1,
Lukey
manages to hang on to it.
And Cahoot.
Holy cow.
Yeah, Bruno, good save from him. Lukey was putting him under pressure, and yeah, Bruno just lost it on that corner and loses a spot, 3 spots in fact. So Bruno's got some work to do to catch back up. German went through without worry, and he's still putting Lukey under pressure. The gap about half a second.
One thing I want to point out, part of this is because it is a wet Snetterton. Hats off to the field. No drive-throughs, no stop-go 30s for pit infringements. That's a pretty clean race.
Very, very true.
Very true.
No drive-throughs yet.
Well, but that's the thing, though. It's wet. So, if you go off track, it's going to be interesting if you gain time.
Sorry to cut you off, guys. Audi on Mustang battle brewing here. This is Big and Robertson. Once more, Robertson's Mustang definitely had the edge on that straight, as you'd expect. And German and Lukey, we could probably put both up, Chris, couldn't we?
Yeah. Which one do you want me to grab?
If you grab Robertson and Big.
I got you.
There we go. We got a couple of close-ish battles. We have another one as well, Bruno and Nick Cahoot, although that is a different
is yellow flagged. I'm going to jump. Oh, he is parked in the middle of the track, holding his brakes. Okay, he's good. Jump back over to Mark.
Just one of those wet weather moments, I guess. So you can see on the left side of your screen, it's German trying to reel in Lukey. This battle has been raging for a few laps now since the pit window. Ferrari versus Porsche. And then Robertson and Carl Big on the right-hand side of your screen. All gold drivers. Mixing it up. You love to see it. Bruno on Nick behind. I think he's going to get that done here. Yeah, on the inside. Nick won't fight too hard because they are in a different class.
Oh, Nick with the over-under look, but I think if Bruno's got decent pace, Nick will just hang out behind him, churn out some laps. He's got a 17-second gap to Heslin, and
indeed, yeah.
It's forever up to Carter.
So Carter holds a 4-second lead over Moses right now. So Carter having the drive of his New World life right now here. So we've seen him quali high, but not been able to convert, I think, right? If I'm right on that? Like maybe Kialami or something like that.
He has really good hot lap pace, and he is now working on his racecraft, which is why he's still in the silver. Like, he has gold pace, But there are still some mistakes. There's some, situational awareness things that he's working on. Getting trained by Rados, which is hard to do because Rados also does not have to really race people very often because he's so far ahead of everybody. So it's hard to train somebody on racecraft when you're actually not practicing a lot of racecraft.
Yeah, I suppose if they're close enough in pace, they can sort of race each other in practice. I used to enjoy always pairing up with someone that was a little faster. As Bruno in the background takes a lot of grass, and Nick Cahoot's going to go through again. So Bruno struggling to keep that Bentley between the white lines at the moment.
So how many more times does Nick let Bruno go by?
Yeah. Before he says, "You've had your chance."
Yeah. I mean, I've spoken to Nick at length. He just wants to race people. So he, people of his class, people of other classes, he doesn't care. Like, he just wants somebody to put up a fight.
I think.
So I imagine if Bruno wants to get back by, he might actually race him.
Yeah, I think Heslin just at a moment, he's showing an invalid lap time and lost a spot to Melanson. Don't believe that gap was that close before that happened. As you see Melanson in Christian Horner's private personal car that he's borrowed for the weekend.
Yeah, his livery doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
for some
still.
reason. His and Kyle's, both of those don't work for some reason, but you have them.
I do have them.
And I sent you all my files, so go figure.
Go figure. Yeah. Landon Wall off again at the hairpin. That's turn 2. He's back on track, but yeah, Landon Wall's had a tough race out there.
Nick Cahoot facing the wrong direction.
Oh, yeah, rejoining
Attempting to
here.
rejoin.
Nicely. Lots of room for him to rejoin between Beveridge and Melanson.
Might have taken some curb, because that's where Chris Moses went off earlier and lost the position to Carter in that same corner.
So I don't think it's updated yet, but I believe if Beveridge has worked his way around Cahoot, then that means that Melanson Am I understanding that correctly? Is that Melanson going to be behind Cahoot now?
And
Kyle Heslin just got the drive out of the final corner. And
so I think Melanson had taken Heslin with an off track maybe for the GTR, and now Heslin's just taken that spot back.
Yes.
Nick Cahoot, as you say, well, his gap to P3 in silver is down to 5 seconds. So we'll see if that closes up in the next 13 minutes, which it might do. Lap time wise, it's hard to tell because both drivers had invalid.
Oh, he is deep into the hairpin.
Who? Sorry.
Nick Cahoot might be having some issues. I don't know if it's a hardware thing, but he just completely missed the braking on the hairpin. His wife might be talking to him. Who knows?
Yeah, his last lap was a 2:10 something, so that was the one where he was facing backwards. He's got another invalid lap going now, and that gap's down to 2 seconds flat. So yeah, as well pointed out, Nick Cahoot's second place in silver could be under threat. Carter Bezbroka here on your screen, P1 in silver by a long, comfortable margin. Having a great race, as long as he doesn't get stream sniped by the commentators. I waited just in case. Did you see that?
I did.
Oh, Carlos Guzman deep into, what was the corner you're talking about earlier, Wilt? That you said people were... Yeah,
that's it.
It looked like you late break into that one, and Ryan Cody's going to get the spot from him.
I've seen that, like, at least, that's probably like the 4th or 5th time I've seen that particular inconsistency again.
Carlos's car wobbling under braking.
He put a wheel on the grass. He put the right rear on the grass, and that's
we have a change.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have Nick Cahoot. Kyle Heslin has gotten by Nick Cahoot for P. Oh, Kyle is going to super late break.
Oh my word! Yeah,
and he'll break himself into the hair. He's going to lose 2.
Oh. Game on, though. for this
fight for the silver podium.
Yeah. Game on between Kahoot, Melanson, and Heslin. Joey Melidi is about 1.6 back from this group as well. So can Joey get himself in the mix? That would be
Joey is
exciting.
licking his chops. Like, these guys keep making mistakes, and they're just things like, you know, braking a little bit too late or something like that.
Yeah, it's hard to.
They're going to be too wide here as Nick Kohut is going to go up the inside.
So funny story, right? So let's say Joey catches the next 3 drivers. He'll be even on the day for positions gained.
They are side by side into Augies. Here comes Joey. Just waiting. Look at him.
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna pick
was-
up 3 spots here.
That was Melanson and Nick side by side. That then became Heslin and Nick. And Melanson squeaks back in front. So this is an exciting battle we have in silver. Silver split, best split is something that's often uttered
Yeah,
in the community.
something is wrong with Nick Kohut's car.
Yeah. He's definitely having an issues.
He is-
Joey's going to go through as well.
Yeah, he's dropping like a stone. It looks like he can't corner very well. Oh, Kyle's going to get all out of whack.
And Joey's going to be all up in his mirror as
This
well.
is not a good place to send it.
He
Oh,
did-
Joey, hang on to it.
Joey did well to hold it. He's desperately trying to stay with Heslin. Heslin obviously has looked pretty good out there in the GTR.
Yeah, Kyle has pace. It's just the little mistakes that keep, you know, biting him in the ass. And I mean, they're allowing Matt Melanson to now run away. So we go into turn 1. See if Kyle can keep that car straight and then brake on time.
Yeah, further back, Ryan Cody managed to eke out a 3-second lead over Carlos Guzman, who's now under pressure from Bruce Hopkins. Carlos on an invalid lap, so I suspect a off track there somewhere for Carlos. And Bruce now putting him under pressure. Back to the battle in silver. This and the Hopkins-Carlos battle is the closest at the moment. So that went from very exciting to over a second gaps between most of these drivers here.
Oh, Funk says the T2 brake marker is missing.
Yeah.
So it's there on my screen, but for the people in the race, the braking marker for the first hairpin after turn 1 is not there. Oh, Matt Melanson is going to be in the grass as he exits wide. He's going to possibly lose 2 here as Joey's going to try to sneak up the inside.
Came off the grass, had to leave the room as he rejoined. Joey gets through. And so Heslin back into P2 in silver. Joey on the
Joey
podium.
onto the podium.
We got a yellow flag on the exit of turn 1.
Yeah,
Who
I
is
think
that?
it's Landon Wall in the Honda.
Landon's woes continue in that Honda today. He's not had a good race. Not had a fun race, I should imagine. And
The Honda is great when it works, as Joey gets loose on corner exit there.
Yes, he does.
And when it's not working, it is the worst car on the planet.
Come on, Joey. Concentrate. Don't let me snipe you from here. He runs really wide.
As Joey runs wide and loses a spot to Melanson.
Yeah, and it's all change again as Melanson moves back into the 3rd podium spot in silver. Man, this has been a nice, fun battle for everybody. Carlos Guzman is off in the grass. Bruce Hopkins goes through. Carlos is going to rejoin behind Muff. And so Carlos having a rough one out there as well in the Aston.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of the Astons are struggling. Carlos and Nick Kohut. I don't know what happened to Nick's car, but it is kind of seems like it fell off.
And
Well, I mean, it's continuing to fall off. I'm kind of, like you were saying before, like technical things, but another thing that, you know, it's within the realm of possibility. Do you mess up his fuel?
Oh, do you think he's having to save?
I don't know, but his times are just going absolutely into the dumpster. Like his last lap was a 58.5.
You can't miss fuel by, because he's been doing that for like the past, what, 7-8 minutes or something like that. Last couple laps.
Well, no, but that's the thing though. What I'm waiting for is I'm waiting to see more like non-invalid laps to like get like a reference, because a 58.5, it ain't like the worst, but it's definitely off the pace relative to, you know, people he was keeping pace with the majority of this race, running like 56s with like Bruno Casaldini and stuff like that, right?
yeah.
So
At one point, he was comfortably in second in silver. Yeah, so something for sure amiss for Nick.
German is off in the grass.
Oh, he is.
I
German.
just saw Dylan Burbridge gain a spot. It looks like the final corner caught him out. Maybe on the exit might have touched grass.
Yeah, Joseph German has to rejoin. And in P11, so German up quite a... How many spots is German up now? And Hesslen, they're both...
I mean, he's started towards the back, so probably.
I mean, it
10?
says 9 right now, but I think that's with the space he just lost to Beveridge.
Gotcha. Yeah, so German 11th, Hessen 12th after starting at the back. Eamon going really slow here. I think he's allowing them through.
Oh.
Or is he got an issue?
Stopped? Okay, now he's moving again?
I feel like he was just letting that silver battle through, but I'm not...
I mean, I appreciate that, but please do not stop on track.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
That is never the way to do that.
Joey keeping Melanson honest, still in the hunt for a podium. Can Joey do this? He's got 5 minutes to make it count. And he is having a look.
Just don't push too hard. Just hit your marks, and it'll come to you.
And that's easier said than done with the spray, right? I mean, we all know.
Oh, yeah.
It's not iRacing levels of spray. I don't know about you guys, but I find the iRacing spray really horrendous, especially in VR.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
When we did Sebring, I couldn't see anything at the start of the race. Like, I just was flying by the seat of my pants.
I mean, I'm the type of person that thinks that the spray in both ACC and iRacing in these like very wet races is always ridiculous. Like, this is the reason why some races get red flagged. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got interior view of Joey here. This is what Joey's dealing with. It's not too bad. Thankfully, the back of Melison's Aston has that bright red and yellow Red Bull logo that actually might be quite helpful when you're tailing him in these conditions.
Oh, Joey's gonna overshoot the final corner again.
Oh, he hangs on to it.
Joey, tighten it up.
That's because I'm on board with him. I'm really tempting fate now. You know,
Yeah,
I was like in the interior view.
He totally would have had the overtake there if not for Milo.
100%, yeah.
I am seeing some inconsistency from Nick Kohout, but definitely feels like he's kind of collected himself a little bit. Last lap was a 57.065. Lap before that was in the 56s, so he's getting back.
So I wonder if, like you're saying, maybe you're thinking he had to go to like a different fuel map for a moment, for a few laps or something?
I don't know if it was a different fuel map. I think I'm going to agree with Chris. It was just kind of like maybe a little bit of inconsistency, got shook up a little bit, and then just, couldn't put it together for a couple laps, and that's okay. It seems like he's got it figured out.
Looking at the series chat, Rick Simley's VR had an issue.
Oh, okay. Well, I can relate. I've had many VR issues over the years.
So I think that's why he had the contact early and then had to go to the pits for a couple laps and then rejoin.
Carlos is off in the grass again, runs really wide, and Moffat will go through, and Carlos Guzman's Aston Martin misery today will continue. Moffat goes to P18 after literally arrive and drive up to P18. And it's, just Joey's got 2.5 minutes. Can he reel him back in? I don't know. If Melanson just keeps it consistent, he'll have a podium.
I just sent Joey a private message on Discord and told him to stop messing up the final corner.
That's going to be very helpful.
Yeah. Look at him. Bam. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well done.
Absolute beauty of a corner there.
That time was perfect. Yeah.
He's back under a second.
And gaining because he got a really good exit. So it seems like you want to stay right off that mesh exit. Jose Guzman in chat, I really wish I'd made this. Yeah, Jose. Joey gets loose again. Whew. Easy now. It runs a little deep as well. Into the hairpin.
All right, man. The leader is on the final lap.
Final lap for this man, which is Andrew Rados, has A dominant drive. He's 16 seconds ahead of Billingsley in second as they make their way past Miller, who's rejoining the track there, you can see in the background. Rados has been dominant today, guys. No, not a foot wrong, really.
Oh. I mean, he had that issue where he got stuck in traffic right before his pit. Didn't really seem to affect him that much because he's grown his lead back out to, almost 17 seconds again. So, I mean, had he not gotten caught up in that, he probably would have had a 30-second lead, if not more. Just
Joey needs a good exit here. He's got the gap down to half a second on the back straight. The Bentley straight, no less. And you see Melanson takes a defensive line.
They haven't been lapped, so they've got the rest of this and then one more. Carl is off in the weeds.
Yeah, turn one.
Oh.
And he's going to lose some spots. Yeah, that Audi rejoins.
Might have had a snap oversteer moment there.
Joey's got the gap down to 3/10 with an extra lap to go. Oh, and Melanson runs wide.
Final corner.
It's drag race.
T1.
Drag
I mean,
race.
the Honda, I think, has got to get up and go.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Joey looking good, but he's got to nail the braking points now. Melanson will not make this easy.
Oh, the over-under.
Oh, Melanson runs wide.
A beauty. A beauty. Oh, my gosh.
Nice. That was a really nice move from Joey there. You love to see it. Melanson ran a bit wide and allowed Joey to get the move done, and now
The leader has finished the race.
Joey can bring it home. He will take podium in silver.
They're not done yet, though. I mean, Rados has finished the race.
Bruno.
Bruno
just dipped
was
a
on the
toe.
back of Carl. Yeah, had a moment there. Yeah, Rados has finished the race.
Yeah, Rados wins. Greg Billingsley takes P2 in the Honda, and Carter Besbrocker. Let's just say what a drive for him today. Silver driver, third overall. Great pace throughout, and just didn't,
Volleyed second?
Yeah, didn't put a foot wrong. So great drive from Carter.
I hate the Honda lockout on the podium.
Yeah, Honda lockout podium is
Ooh, there goes Carlos.
sickening. Bruno Castaldini putting Carl big under pressure. Carl obviously trying to hold on to the Audi. It's at the end.
Yep, one more corner to go. Front of Carl's car looks very, very sad. I think he might have hit the wall when he had that snap.
It does look very,
His
very
hood has
damaged.
popped up.
He's
but
going to
he's gonna
take
get-
it, yeah.
Yeah, good enough run out of the corner.
Bruno was catching him. I think he would have had him at turn one, but Carl will take P8, Bruno P9, Dylan Beveridge P10. Haslin rounds Murray's for the final time. He will take P2 in silver. Great drive from Haslin. Started at the back today. So yeah, Haslin will take P2 in silver. And then Joey Meletti.
The
Check
Jenny
and
man
win.
himself.
P3 for Joey. Melanson P4 in silver. And great race for the silvers there for that second
Amen.
half of the race.
Naming our final car, coming through the final corner. Oh, look at Joey over there to
Join
say,
the Hondas.
Look, Mom and Dad, I got a podium. I did it.
I'm going to flick off that disgusting picture right now and show anything else.
Well,
That was a
Ryan
good
Cody's
one.
doing his cool down lap, so.
Well, eventful wet race, but not as eventful as some of our recent races, so in a good way.
Yeah. I think it was all in all, I think it was a pretty clean Snetterton for the conditions. I mean, people were overshooting the track and stuff like that. You kind of expect that sort of thing in these really wet conditions, but all in all, I thought
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a
really
couple,
good racecraft, really good,
couple-
exciting action.
couple contacts early, and then everybody kind of settled down a bit and got into their rhythm.
Yeah, indeed. Now, it was very good as you see the Honda trifecta here, like on the screen. I was trying to show Rados because he was the race winner, but he's
Yeah,
been blocked.
As Funk said, the only thing that makes the Honda lockout bearable is it's a Canadian lockout.
Yeah, there you go.
I see.
Nice.
It's like, what's better than dual overhead cams? How about 6 overhead cams? All of them, all the overhead cams.
Exactly. Yeah, so another race in the books, guys. Where are we headed for round 7?
We are headed to Indianapolis
Indianapolis. What's
for a non-wet race.
a
It's going to
non-wet
be
race,
just
okay.
a afternoon optimum race.
Hmm.
Should be a good one. And then we have for round 8, we have Imola with a light rain, and then round 9, the green hell.
Oh, baby.
Real quick, I got to give a big shout out to Kyle Heslin with 11 spots gained this race.
Big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fantastic
result.
race from him. I don't see his number on the sheet at all. I mean, I think we had 9 contacts for the entire race.
Up. Excellent. Up 31 from Paul Ricard.
Yeah. It won't take 2+ hours this week.
Great
I'm
job,
happy.
guys. Great job in the community. That's what
Okay.
we like to see, by the way.
Rain every week because people
Yeah.
behave better.
I think 10 or under is a win. You know what I mean? Anytime we're 10 or under is a big win, I think, for any community, like for contact in an hour-long race.
Like Will was saying, Kyle up 11 spots, no contacts registered.
Yeah.
We saw that he was having some issues with control of the car, and still managed to make those gains. So, GG.
Yeah, indeed. All right, guys, as ever, I'll hit you with the intro vid to end the stream. We'll see you next week for Indianapolis. We're off to the Brickyard. Well, Chris, have yourselves a great evening.
You too, sir.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
See you
Bye.
next time.
Peace.
Every Sunday
Every Sunday
for 60 minutes. We are free. Sharing passion. Pushing
We
the
are
limits.
pushing the limits.
This is the New World Sim Racing GT3 Sprint Series.
From the twists and turns of mighty Mount Panorama to the cold green pastures of Donington Park, from the sizzling heat of Valencia to the famous Brickyard at Indianapolis, reaching an unforgettable climax at the notorious green hell of the Nürburgring Nordschleife, it's time for Season 3 of the 2024 New World Sim Racing GT3 Sprint Series. Join us live on Twitch, Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Drivers, start your engines.